Hey everybody, it's your girl, Jenna. But not really, it's Adam. Jenna's ghostwriting this, so it's basically the same thing. Anyway, today we're talking about pugs. You know those little gremlins with the squishy faces and the big ol' eyes? Like, if you could take a loaf of bread and give it legs and a face, that's basically a pug. I'm obsessed with them, and you should be too. We're gonna dive deep into the wonderful world of pugs, from their history to why they're basically the funniest dogs on the planet. Get ready to learn everything you ever wanted to know about these little weirdos, and maybe some things you didn't. So buckle up, grab your pug, or your cat, I don't judge, and get ready for some serious pug love. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any future doggo content. Okay, so you see this little creature that looks like it's constantly trying to sneeze its own face off? Yeah, that's a pug. And believe it or not, these little guys have been around for like, ever. We're talking over 2,000 years. Back in ancient China, pugs were the ultimate status symbol. They were like the royal handbag dogs of Chinese emperors. Can you imagine having your own personal squad of pug guards? These pugs were living the high life, let me tell you. They had silk pillows, gourmet meals, probably even their own personal masseuses. I'm not jealous. You're jealous. So, how did these little Chinese emperors go global? Well, Dutch traders were like, yo, those are some weird-looking, but kinda cute dogs you got there. And the Chinese were like, right? They're the best. So, the Dutch traders brought some pugs back to Europe, and it was love at first sight for like everyone. Even Queen Victoria was obsessed with pugs. She had like 1 million of them. Eventually, Dutch traders brought pugs to Europe, where they became the beloved pets of royalty, including Queen Victoria of England. Talk about a fancy dog. I mean, if they're good enough for royalty, they're good enough for me, right? From China to Europe, and eventually, the world, pugs were on their way to becoming the international superstars they are today. Okay, let's be real. Pugs are basically walking, breathing, snorting teddy bears, those big round eyes, they could melt a glacier. And those wrinkly little foreheads. Don't even get me started. I just want to boop their noses and give them all the belly rubs. Seriously, have you ever seen a pug puppy? It's like looking into the face of pure, unadulterated joy. So, why are pugs one of the most beloved dog breeds today? Well, for starters, they have an irresistibly cute face. Those big round eyes, tiny ears, and wrinkly little forehead make them absolutely adorable. They're like the human embodiment of the emoji. And don't even get me started on their little butts. They're like fluffy little torpedoes of cuteness. But pugs aren't just cute, they're also hilarious. These dogs are like professional goofballs. They snort, they snore, they run into walls, they trip over their own feet. Plus, they're known for their goofy, clown-like personalities. If you want a dog that will keep you entertained, a pug is perfect. It's like living with a furry little comedian who never breaks character. And their little tails? Forget about it. They wag so hard their whole butts wiggle. It's no wonder pugs are taking over the internet. From memes to movies, these little guys are everywhere, and I, for one, am here for it. Okay, so we've talked about how freaking adorable pugs are, but what about their personalities? Are they just furry little couch potatoes? Or is there more to these wrinkly wonders? Let me tell you, pugs are like the life of the party stuffed into a tiny, snorting, squishy package. They're seriously bursting with personality. They're like, hey, I might be small, but I'm gonna love you with the force of 1,000 suns. They're also crazy affectionate. Like if you sit down for 5 seconds, bam! You got a pug in your lap ready for snuggles. And don't even get me started on the playtime. They love to zoom around like little furry torpedoes, but then they'll crash right next to you for a nap. It's that perfect mix of playful energy and cuddle monster that gets me every time. Seriously, pugs are the ultimate mood booster. They're like little furry antidepressants with legs. And can we talk about how freaking hilarious pugs are? I mean, their whole face is a walking, breathing meme. They've got these snorts, these grunts, these little wheezes that sound like a tiny old man trying to start a lawnmower. And their facial expressions? Don't even get me started. They can go from I love you more than pizza to I'm plotting your demise with just a twitch of their wrinkly little noses. But here's the thing about pugs, they're low-key stubborn. Like, they'll give you that I understand you, but I'm choosing to ignore you look while they steal your socks. The good news is, pugs are totally food motivated, So with a little patience and a lot of treats, you can teach these little goofballs anything. Alright, so pugs are basically tiny bundles of pure joy wrapped in wrinkles, but like any breed, they've got some quirks, and by quirks I mean health stuff we gotta watch out for. First up, those adorable smushed faces. I mean, I could stare at their wrinkly little mugs all day, but those short snouts, they can make breathing a bit of a struggle. Think of it like trying to breathe through a straw. Not ideal, right? So, no marathon training for these little guys. Short walks, playtime in the AC, and keeping them cool in the summer is key. Heat stroke is a big no-no for our squishy-faced friends. Oh, and one more thing, those big, beautiful, kind of bulgy pug eyes. Super cute, but also super prone to scratches and infections. Think of them like precious little jewels that need extra care. Now, let's talk about everyone's favorite subject, food. Pugs? They love to eat, like seriously, they'd sell you out for a single Cheeto if you're not careful. But here's the deal. Pugs are basically the kings and queens of turning into little round potatoes if you let them. They'll go from, "Aw, you're a healthy weight," to "Holy moly, you're a furry bowling ball," faster than you can say treat time. So portion control is key, people, and make sure they're getting exercise, even if it's just a leisurely stroll around the block to sniff out the best-smelling fire hydrant. And last but not least, regular vet checkups are a must. Like, think of it as a spa day for your pug, but instead of cucumber water, they get their ears checked. It's all about keeping those squishy little weirdos happy and healthy. Alright, so you're thinking about adding a tiny human to the mix, and you're wondering if a pug is up for the challenge. I mean, let's be real, toddlers and pugs are basically the same species. They're both small, they both love to nap, and they both have a knack for getting into mischief. But seriously, pugs are actually amazing with kids. They're like furry little tanks, sturdy enough to handle a bit of roughhousing, but also gentle and patient. And let's be real, toddlers are basically tiny little attention-seeking missiles, and pugs, they live for that stuff. They'll happily soak up all the cuddles, the ear scratches, and the accidental tail pulls, within reason, of course. Plus, pugs are like the ultimate playmates. They're always down for a game of fetch, a cuddle puddle on the couch, or even just following your little one around like a furry little shadow. Now, before you unleash your toddler and pug into a world of unsupervised chaos, let's talk boundaries. Just like with any dog breed, supervision is key, especially when they're first getting to know each other. Teach your little one how to pet gently, how to respect the pug's space, no tail pulling no matter how tempting, and how to read their dog's body language. And remember, even though pugs are generally patient, they're not chew toys. Make sure your pug has a safe space to retreat to if they're feeling overwhelmed, like a cozy bed or a crate. But honestly, with a little bit of guidance and a lot of love, a pug and a toddler can be the best of friends. Like, seriously, get ready for some epic playdates, adorable photo ops, and enough cuteness to melt your heart. Okay, so you've heard all about pugs, their history, their little quirks, their health stuff. But how do you know if one of these wrinkly weirdos is right for you? Like, are you a pug person? Because honestly, not everyone is, and that's totally fine. First of all, let's be real. Pugs are basically tiny furry shadows. They will follow you everywhere. Bathroom? You bet. Kitchen? Obviously. Trying to have a moment of peace and quiet to contemplate the vastness of the universe? Forget it. There's a squishy face staring at you. So if you're someone who values their alone time or needs a dog who's cool with being independent, a pug might not be your soulmate. But if you're down for a dog who will be your built-in cuddle buddy and personal space heater, then keep listening. Because pugs are basically little furnaces of love and affection. They thrive on attention and just want to be near you, like all the time. Seriously, they're basically little furry magnets drawn to your side. Now let's talk energy levels. If you're picturing yourself going on intense hikes with your dog, training for marathons, or playing frisbee in the park for hours on end, well, a pug might look at you like you've grown a second head. Pugs are the kings and queens of chill. They enjoy a good walk around the block, sure, but their idea of a perfect day involves napping, snacking, and maybe a little bit of light zoomy action around the living room. So, if you're looking for a super athletic exercise buddy, a pug might not be the best fit. But if you're more of a homebody who enjoys cozy nights in, then a pug could be your perfect match made in couch potato heaven. Plus, pugs are surprisingly adaptable. They can be happy in apartments, small houses, or even mansions. Lucky pugs. As long as they have love, snuggles, and maybe a few too many treats, they're pretty content. Alright, my fellow dog lovers, buckle up because it's time for some seriously fun pug facts. These little nuggets of knowledge will make you the most interesting person at your next dog park hangout. Did you know that pugs were once bred to be, wait for it, guard dogs? Yeah, you heard me right. Those squishy faces and tiny little legs were supposed to strike fear into the hearts of intruders. I know, it's hard to imagine these little cuddle monsters as intimidating guardians. I mean, can you picture a pug barking ferociously at a burglar? It would probably sound more like a snort than a bark, and the burglar would probably just die of laughter. But hey, back in the day, they probably thought those wrinkly faces were super scary or something. Or maybe they just wanted a dog who would lick intruders to death with affection. Either way, it's pretty hilarious to think about. Now, let's talk about those wrinkles, because pugs are basically the kings and queens of wrinkles. But did you know that those wrinkles weren't just a happy accident? They were actually selectively bred to resemble Chinese characters. Yeah, you heard that right. The ancient Chinese were all about those wrinkles, and the most prized pattern was said to spell out prince. So basically, pugs have been rocking designer wrinkles for centuries. And speaking of those squishy faces, let's address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the snoring pug in the room. Because let's be real, pugs are notorious snorers. I'm talking symphony-level snoring, the kind that could rival a chainsaw. But hey, it's all part of their charm, right? And honestly, once you hear that little piggy snort coming from your pug, you know they're deeply content and dreaming of belly rubs and treats. Well, there you have it, folks. We've explored the wonderful, wacky world of pugs, from their ancient origins to their hilarious snoring habits. I hope you learned something new about these amazing dogs and maybe even fell a little bit more in love with them, because let's be real, how can you resist those squishy faces and goofy personalities? If you're already the proud parent of a pug, give them an extra squeeze for me and tell them I said hello. And if you're thinking about adding a pug to your family, what are you waiting for? Head down to your local shelter or responsible breeder and find your new best friend. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to Dogstown University for more pawsome dog content. And be sure to hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Subscribe now.